Rookies report to New York Jets training camp in 5 days. And in 8 days, the veterans report. Training camp is right around the corner. Which players are under the most pressure? A Jets beat reporter gives us all the answers. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Right off the top rope, let me give a big salute to the number one Austrian Jets fan who sent in a treasure chest of items from Austria and a lot of custom shirts he made, including a Breece Hall shirt with the text underneath, Breece. So shout out to our number one Austrian Jets fan, baby. And speaking of our number one Austrian Jet fan, he just sent in $1.99 in euros super sticker here on the show. We only have one possible way to react to that. Let's go.
Kevin James.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Thank you, our number one Austrian Jet fan, for sending in that super sticker. Baby, you have, let's count it up now, 23 raffle tickets for the biggest giveaway in Boy Green Daily history, which is a pair of tickets to the Jets-Cowboys game, Section 228A, 2 tailgate tickets, food catered by Chef Kevin Gilbert, and 2 commemorative Jets-Cowboys t-shirts as well. So, Austrian, you have all of those raffle tickets available based on all of your previous combinations of submissions here on the channel, which we appreciate. Thank you very much, Austrian, for supporting this cause. Someone else who supports the cause, I love it. Razor blades and lemon juice, baby. Let's give a big salute to Mother Effing Chew with a Boy Green Coffee Club membership gift. Thank you, MFC. And MFC, you're up to eight gifted memberships so far this month, which we appreciate. You already have a ticket punched for the raffle of Jets-Cowboys tickets based on your combinations of contributions here on the program. So thank you very much. By the way, your membership you just gifted went to Sir Luca. Sir Luca, thank you for jumping on the train, baby. Toot toot here on the program. So thank you for all the gifted memberships and action. We will have Jets beat reporter Nick Faria of JetsXFactor.com joining us at 8 o'clock. So we'll keep you company until 8 o'clock. And he wrote a piece, an article about the top 5 players under the most pressure heading into camp. And there's a lot of names that make sense on the list. You know, I read through, oh, okay. All right. And there's one player on the list I'm like, interesting, sort of surprising. But the more I sort of marinated on it, it's not even like a reason he explained in the piece, but I sort of came up with my own reason. That article is in the YouTube description down below. We'll get into that in just a minute, but let's continue to wish good mornings to everyone here in the chat. Shout out to OG Jetsman 1985, a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Appreciate you, pal. Again, thank you to the membership gifted from MFC, Austrian Jets fan Super Sticker Baby. Hit the like button, free to do. Please do so. Yes. As Foxy says, a.k.a. Stephen Fox, member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, Jets rookies report to training camp this Saturday. Vets 3 days later, LFG. Folks, it's been a long-ass offseason. Someone mentioned it yesterday. It's been boring, or what have you. Ricky took umbrage with that commentary on the offseason, but it's just been good not to be in the news for any criminal activity that's happening with a lot of teams in the National Football League. So we're ready for football, and football. It should be a lot of fun. Thank you, Stephen Fox, for that shout out. Shout out everybody in here. Yes, sir. Pop's in the chat. Shout out to Pop. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. Hey now. And as he likes to say, take the like button to Pound Town. That's a free way to contribute to the Boy Green Daily. That helps get this Jet show in front of other Jet fans that have not seen the program before. So appreciate it. It is a Monday, so we will have the Man-Child Show at Boy Green Digital. We will be streaming live on this channel. We will not be at 11 o'clock today. Man-Child's traveling back from New York. So we'll be live at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll be back on live talking about a variety of topics, including training camp starting this week. That'll be up there. We got the Home Run Derby tonight. Let's see, the All-Star break, a couple of other notes and quotes. We'll be doing that again live, 1 o'clock on this channel. But as always, so you don't miss, most of the live videos are going to be here on this channel as well. They will coexist in both places. But if you want to make sure you don't miss any of the other content, of the other interviews we do, make sure you guys subscribe to the Man-Child Show at Boy Green Digital. You can do that directly in the YouTube description down below. There's a direct link to that radio show, which is no longer a radio show. I keep calling it. It is a digital show now, which means it's basically just a video show. You guys can learn more about my radio partner. You'll learn more about me. It's me live more often. We're live twice a week right now on Mondays and Wednesdays. We will have more live opportunities coming up. Our Fun Friday games. That's a lot of fun with the fans, and a bunch of that stuff will be coming up around the corner. So I hope you guys can get involved in that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But for today, we will be live at 1 o'clock. On Wednesday, we'll be live at 11 o'clock. Looking forward to it. My pop is mentioning a 10-game winning streak going into a certain All-Star break. I don't know who he's talking about. I'm sure he's not talking about the Boston Red Sox and having their first 10-game winning streak since 2018 when they won the World Series in 2018. Right. Yes, interesting. So we'll see. Look at that. Hop on Pop says the Home Run Derby is less than a mile from Esden Zone, Atlanta. Okay, so we know what Pop's doing tonight. There you go. Beautiful. We love to see it. I'll also have some more columns coming out today on a variety of topics. For instance, I don't think we're going to do a full show on this, so I could just mention it now. So Jeremy Fowler released his top 10 quarterback rankings based on a conversation with league executives, scouts, and coaches. And of course, Justin Fields wasn't on that list, obviously, although, as some people have been indicating, apparent delusion among the Jets fan base, quote unquote, with what we're going to be getting from Justin Fields this year. But of course, he wasn't on the list. He only started 6 games, last year, so he wasn't on it. Aaron Rodgers, who was our quarterback last year, he didn't make the top 10 this year. He didn't make the honorable mention. However, Aaron Rodgers, he received top 10 quarterback votes, believe it or not. Aaron Rodgers for last season. And I know how much you guys love talking about Aaron Rodgers. And we're going to have to for a little bit more of time because week 1, Jets Steelers, there's going to be a lot of hubbub about all that. And Aaron Rodgers was playing in the American Century Championship golf tournament over the weekend, so we heard some chatter from Aaron Rodgers. And I just wanted to tell you guys, I was writing a piece this morning about Aaron Rodgers receiving top 10 votes. And I just want to say this on the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. On the raw numbers, Aaron Rodgers had a really good season. 28 touchdowns, third most in Jets single season history. 3,700 some odd passing yards, third most in a single season in Jets franchise history. His completion percentage of 63% was the 6th highest completion percentage by a Jets quarterback in a single season with a minimum of 10 games started in a season. So there's a lot of raw numbers that tell you, whoa, that Aaron Rodgers guy, pretty good. However, if you look a little deeper on the numbers, and I have this in a piece. That piece is dropping at 9 this morning. So live right now on the show. We're live here at 7:38. And I will tell you on Aaron Rodgers that there are a couple of numbers that are sort of skewed. Right, so I mentioned all those numbers, and those numbers are true that I just said with the single season. It's also true that Aaron Rodgers had the second most passing attempts in football, only behind Joe Burrow. And I'm watching the quarterback Netflix series, very fascinating. I highly recommend you guys check that out on Netflix as well. He threw the second most attempts last year. So what does that mean? Well, that means the Jets were down a lot. They finished 5-12, and he got to throw a lot more than other quarterbacks. Other quarterbacks got to, take the foot off the pedal in the fourth quarter because they were winning games. Josh Allen and some of these other quarterbacks didn't have to throw the entire game. Aaron Rodgers did. So the numbers are a little skewed for old A-Rod because he had the second most passing attempts in football, so there were some volume stats there, number one. Here's another stat that I find fascinating on old Aaron Rodgers, right? So he had 28 passing touchdowns. Whoa, 28, that's a lot. We had a couple of years, unfortunately, Jet fans, you don't want to live this through. We had a couple of years where we didn't get a quarterback that got to 10 passing touchdowns in a couple of years. They didn't get to 10. Really, yikes. And Aaron got to 28. 28's a lot. How about this, though? Again, another part of that context with some of these stats. Aaron Rodgers had 28 passing touchdowns. 19 of his 28 passing touchdowns came in the red zone. In other words, some stat padding. Aaron Rodgers on a play that may have been a run, he goes, Bluebird Cobra, can, woof, 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 up, passing, up, there's a passing touchdown. Think about that. 19 of his 28 passing touchdowns all came within the opponent's red zone, within the 20-yard line. And so the majority of his production was sort of fugazi, right? Those easily could have been rushing touchdowns as opposed to passing touchdowns, and that big, juicy, sexy number, all of a sudden, boom, it gets a little smaller. It sure does. So that's just another thing to just sort of sprinkle out in the universe when you sort of dig deeper into the numbers. It doesn't do it. But here's the reason why I bring it all up, because, again, we have J-Boy in here. Who the hell's Aaron Rodgers? We have B-Mac back in here saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers. So everyone's Aaron Rodgers, love, hate, everything in between. The reason why I bring that up is that for better or worse, we know what Aaron Rodgers is. We know who he is. We know his credentials. We know what he's about. We know all that jazz. Justin Fields is an unfinished canvas. And if you are to say anything about the canvas of Justin Fields, it wouldn't be nice things to say. He is on his third team in 3 years. So the canvas for Justin Fields is either unfinished if you're an optimist saying, hey, there's more to be written here, or it's negative based on the poor results, unfortunately, that we've seen for the majority. Now, there are spot stats you can bring up, like 6 games last year with the Steelers. He had a 65.8% completion percentage. Like, ooh, that's the best of his career. He was on pace to do some awesome things, but he got yanked, so we don't know. So, when you dive in deeper to some of those numbers, they don't quite tell you that story, but the Jets are taking a risk. With the quarterback enigma mystery that is Aaron Rodgers, the Jets are going with another mystery, which is Justin Fields, in a case they believe they can crack the code on Justin Fields and unlock him to another level, which is exciting because the Jets have never had a quarterback like this before. So I am amped up. I am tantalized. I am intrigued as we're moving forward here on Justin Fields. I'm curious to see where we go there. And I see that Alon's in the chat. Alon, did I read it correctly that yesterday's show mentioned Fields in 2025 MVP? Ha 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 ha. Yes, Grant Gordon of the NFL Media Group highlighted there are 7 teams in the National Football League in the Super Bowl era that have yet to have an MVP at any position, let alone quarterback. And the Jets are one of those 7. So are the Eagles, by the way. That's sort of a weird fun fact, but the Eagles are one of those teams too. But the Jets are one of those teams. And basically, this NFL media member from NFL.com, he revealed the likelihood of these 7 teams that have never had an MVP in the Super Bowl era, of how likely it is that they will get an MVP in 2025. And for the Jets, he said the most likely guy to win that MVP would be Justin Fields. And he explained the path, if it's realistic at all, and he gave a realistic path of why he believes Justin Fields could be an MVP. And I went, that's interesting, and broke down all the numbers. You guys could watch a show yesterday if you'd like to hear more of those numbers. But my expectations, obviously, are not MVP or anything like that. I want to see sort of how Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrand have talked throughout this offseason. I want to see Justin Fields play the quarterback position. Can we just have the bare basics of point A to point B? Justin Fields has the ball. The plan is to get the ball to Garrett Wilson. So snap, ball, throw, Garrett, catch, down. Boom. And then you just do that a few times, and touchdown drive. Field goal drive. Whatever it is. I just want to see offense. I just want to see normal, run-of-the-mill offense. And if we start getting some pops of crazy-ass plays, great. Tanner Engstrand getting in his bag. Let Tanner Engstrand cook, perhaps. If we're getting all that, that's great. That's just at a bare-bones level. I would just love to see offense. I just love to see normal, run-of-the-mill, basic offense of being able to get up and down the field and scoring more than like 1 touchdown a game. That would be spectacular. That would be spectacular. We just haven't seen that consistently in a long time. Unfortunately. Yeah. NC Green, how was Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter where we needed him? Fail. The Vikings game, the Buffalo game in week 6. People say Aaron Rodgers ended the year really great. That doesn't seem to be true. Arizona game, awful. Second Buffalo game, awful. He benched himself in the second Buffalo game. Again, we will see. For me, as we're getting ready for week 1, Jets, Steelers, we'll talk a lot more about it as we get closer. I think the Jets are in a really good spot. Justin Fields has been here the entire offseason, marinating, learning the Jets system and scheme and chemistry and all these other things. Aaron Rodgers showed up at mandatory minicamp, so he showed up for like 2 or 3 days for a little slap ass, and then now he's going to be here for training camp. We're going to get a rusty version of Aaron Rodgers in week 1. There are going to be pops where Aaron Rodgers looks like Aaron Rodgers. That's exactly what we saw last year with the New York Jets. But I'm all aboard. I'd much rather play Aaron Rodgers in week 1 if I'm the Jets and I got to pick where I played the Steelers than week 8. Like, I want Aaron Rodgers at the beginning of the season. And the mystery of Justin Fields. And we'll talk about this when Nick Faria joins us, talking about his players that he believes are under the most pressure. Like last year, one of the players on his list is Jamien Sherwood. And I'm like, Jamien Sherwood, under pressure? What do you mean? He just got paid. What are you talking about? But if you sort of marinate on it, there are some other reasons that you could get into of why he's under pressure. We could talk about that later. But the reason I bring him up is that Jamien Sherwood last year was a surprise. We as fans didn't. The NFL as a whole did not expect Jamien Sherwood to be a full-time starter, and he ended up being top 5 in tackles and doing awesome things. He got paid, secured the bag. Awesome. I'm happy for Jamien that he did all that. But he was a surprise. The rest of the NFL is like, who the hell is this guy? He started like 7 games in total across his 3 years before last year. We started basically the full season. He appeared in 16 and 17 games. Or it started 16 and 17 games, rather. So, like, he was a mystery. But now this year, Jamien Sherwood won't be a mystery anymore. But people are going to be on their P's and Q's. That doesn't mean Jamien Sherwood's going to be awful, but they're going to know he's coming. Justin Fields, it's a mystery. What is this Tanner Angstrand offense? What is Justin Fields going to look like? They want him to, quote-unquote, play the quarterback position. What the hell does that mean? Are they going to be running the ball down people's throats? Is there going to be some unique passing opportunities? What's happening there on Justin Fields? We don't know. And you want to know who else doesn't know? The Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, you could say they know all kinds of things about Justin Fields, and that's true. He was in their building, so I'm sure there's a lot they know, but they don't know what the Jets are working on this time around. So there's a bag of mystery, and week 1s are weird, man. All kinds of weird shit happens in week 1. So I'm feeling really confident heading into this Jets-Steelers game, and specifically, I like the bag of mystery that is around Justin Fields. So I think that helps. For sure. Yeah, the chat's always fun. It's a good place. Dade County McFly, he benched himself. Can you believe that? That happened. Like, and I look back because I was trying to grab a tweet for a previous story, and I accidentally came upon the clip where I watch press conferences, and if I think clips are worthy, I tweet them out. And a clip that I tweeted out went viral was Aaron Rodgers saying, yeah, the game was getting out of hand. I turned to Jeff Ulbrich, said, yeah, you think it's time to get me out and put Tyrod in? And I'm like, did that motherfucker just bench himself? Is that a thing? Are you allowed to do that? Okay. And oh boy, that went viral for all the wrong. Like, he benched himself. He said, hey, Tyrod, why you finish this one up, kid? Pat him on the back. What the flying who? All right, I guess. I didn't know that was a thing. Did not know that was a thing, but apparently so. Indy Jet says, I have a great start for you, BG. I assume that's stat, and we'll get to that when we open up the phone lines in a little bit. We'll have Nick Faria joining us in about 10 minutes here on the show, or sometimes earlier. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Incel Alon here. Jets D-line and linebackers will struggle, especially if someone gets injured. Yeah, the linebackers, top 2, I feel great about. I love Quincy, love Sherwood, but linebacker 3, who is that exactly? That is unclear. I'm not sure. I'll be doing a pre-training camp preview of the linebacker position coming up this week on Heavy.com. Who the hell is linebacker, off-ball linebacker 3? Not talking about edge rushers, just straight up off-ball linebackers. Like, who is that going to be? No idea. which is Zaire Barnes. Is it Marcelino Ball McCrary? Is it somebody else that we're unaware of? Is it the UDFA kid, Aaron Smith? I don't know. I don't know. But that not knowing also gives you that shroud of like, yikes, hope one of these guys don't get hurt. And then on the D line, specifically defensive end, because you got Will McDonald, and you got Jermaine Johnson. I feel good about those two. Again, Jermaine's coming off of 20 kills, obviously. Your top third defensive end is probably Michael Clemens, but there's going to be other guys in the conversation. At defensive tackle, obviously, you got Q Ball, Quinton Williams. He looks really good, but all the other defensive tackles are bags of mystery. Ricky New York made a very compelling case for Derek Nottie and what he was able to be as the Robin to Chris Jones' Batman, and I wrote a piece about that the other day, so I appreciate that, Ricky. That sort of got my juices flowing on the subject matter, but yeah, the depth there in both places could leave some eyebrows raised. So fingers crossed for good health. Yeah. Alon jumps back in to say, push comes to shove. When Justin Fields has to hit wide receiver 2 on a 3rd and 6, will he pull the trigger or just simply hold on to the ball? We'll see. What kind of confidence? Here's the thing. Let's throw this comment back up, actually. Here's the thing that I think is factoring into the Justin Fields thing that we don't talk about. So when Justin Fields was in Chicago with the Bears, when he was in Chicago, he had the pressures of the Bears traded up. They give him a future first-round pick. They take Justin Fields, number 11 overall pick. Their coaching staff sucks, and all the talent sucks. We talked about that. But, he's the man. There's a lot of pressure, inherent pressure. And then Bears don't work out, gets traded to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, he's like, well, I'm the guy for now, but Russell Wilson's breathing down my neck. As soon as he stops pushing sleds, he might take the shot from me, and he did. With the Jets, there's none of those pressures. None of those pressures. Everyone on the outside is expecting zero from Justin Fields. They're like, he's on his 3rd team in 3 years. This guy sucks. That's what a lot of people on the outside say. So expectations are low from people on the outside on Justin Fields. They're not expecting much. Okay? He's not looking over his shoulder. Old man, 35-year-old Tyrod Taylor turns 36 next month. He ain't breathing down Justin Fields' neck. That ain't happening. So what I say is this. Justin Fields is clearly the man. He was crowned as the QB1 for the Jets. He's the guy. So I would believe, I'm not Justin Fields, but I would believe that there is a confidence, a swag with Justin Fields, knowing that I'm the big man on campus. This is my job. This is my team. This is the best chance I've ever had to be the guy. And that should hopefully not increase pressure. To me, I think that lowers pressure. Like, oh, I'm the man. I know what I have to do. And you can play loosely in a good way. So that part, I think, is in Justin Fields' favor, in my opinion. And yes, as Foxy says, like the video if you can. If you're watching on YouTube, we got 200 people in the room. Please like the video. Hit subscribe. That's free to do as well. And again, another plug for our big contest. I'll throw it up here on the show. Hang on tight, and we'll put it up here on the big screen. I've hinted at it, and I talk about it here on the program. We have the biggest giveaway in this show's history, and we do a giveaway every single month on this channel. This month's giveaway is the biggest we've ever done in this show's history. Here is what's up for grabs, and I'll tell you how to enter. 2 tickets to the Jets-Cowboys game this season, Week 5, Section 228A. You're sitting with all of us. So those 2 tickets are up for grabs. 2 tailgate tickets. That is water and select alcohol, and then the entire food menu is catered by Chef Kevin Gilbert. It's a pristine menu. It's terrific. We have 2 Jets-Cowboys commemorative t-shirts, so you guys will have t-shirts to commemorate the game. If you want a chance to win all of those prizes I just said, subscribe to my channel. That's free to do. So if you're watching right now on Facebook or Twitter, open up the YouTube tab on your phone. Go to your computer, open up YouTube, and subscribe to my channel. We do giveaways every month, so you don't want to miss those opportunities. Do that. Take it to another level. On top of subscribing to my channel, you need to submit a $20 raffle ticket. Okay? You could do that via PayPal or Venmo. That is at BoyGreen25, BOY, green the color, 25, BOYGREEN 25 at PayPal or Venmo. If you do send via PayPal or Venmo, give me your first and last name, a good email for you, and say this is for the Jets-Cowboys giveaway. You have a chance to go to the Jets-Cowboys game for $20, and you bring a friend with you, and you get fed before the game, and you get merch. That is the greatest deal in internet history. You can't beat that. You can buy multiple raffle tickets if you'd like. They're $20 per. So if you want 2 raffle tickets to increase your odds, submit in $40. If you want 3, submit in $60. This is good throughout the entire month of July, so keep submitting your raffle tickets in. Folks, I don't know if I'm ever going to have a giveaway like this ever in the rest of time. So just take full advantage, people, while the getting's good. Again, a $20 raffle ticket. You can also spend $20 on the YouTube channel if you'd prefer. Feel free to do that as well. And that's another way to do it with super chats, super stickers, memberships being gifted. All of that is also available here on the program. So thank you, Stephen Fox, and thank you, everybody. And good luck for the rest of the contest coming up for the Jets Cowboys tickets, baby, here on the program. All right, without further ado, let's bring in, and Daniel Esparza says it's a nice offer. It 100% is. So, Daniel, make sure you and others take full advantage of that. Again, to spend only $20 to bring you and a friend to the game, you can't beat it. So hopefully a lot of you guys jump on that deal. If you have any questions about that, just reach out to me on any form of social media, and I can help you with that. Without any further ado, let's get to our special guest here on a Monday. He joins us every Monday at 8 a.m., and we're just mere days away from the rookies reporting for the New York Jets. It's our resident NFL reporter extraordinaire, Jets reporter for JetsXFactor.com, and a man of many talents who was just hired at the Riverdale Press. It is Nick Faria, who impresses us. Never mind. Nick, welcome to the show.
How's everything going, Paul? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, buddy. I like the setting. Very nice. You got a nice office going on here. I like it. I like it.
It's the new office. We're excited. We're
Nice.
getting rolling. Print days tomorrow, so
Ooh,
it'll
okay.
be a busy but exciting day over the next couple of days.
Which, by the way, real quick, I saw that you saw the new Superman movie. Is that true?
Man, that was awesome. That
Really?
was,
Okay.
it was easily the best comic book movie that I have seen probably since Far From Home. Maybe
Wow.
since Endgame. Like this was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. They nailed what Superman's supposed to be. I walked away saying, wow, I can't wait for the next DC movie. And that hasn't happened a lot.
Okay. Wow. All right. I wasn't sure. I've seen the commercials, and I've been let down a few times by superhero movies over the years. So it always. So okay, your riveting review has revved my engine. So I'm going to have to do some immediate follow-up work on that. Nick, we'll talk about a lot of the columns that you've written recently, and one of the ones I wanted to highlight off the top is you highlighted the 5 players that you believe are under the most pressure heading into training camp, and an interesting name on the list. Actually, before I even get to any of the names, what I want to ask you is this, Nick, because there is a show I watch all the time, is The Rich Eisen Show. And on The Rich Eisen Show, Chris Brockman, his lead producer extraordinaire, and Rich get into a fight all the time about what under pressure means. Rich thinks that it means like your job is on the line. If you don't do this, you're fired. And Chris Brockman's like, no, expectations, right? So like, a random example, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, in Chris Brockman's opinion, are under a lot of pressure. They got to get over the hump. They got to win a Super Bowl. They're under pressure. And Rich is like, what the hell are you talking about? They're great quarterbacks. There's no pressure. So I bring this to you, Nick, before we even get into your list. What is your definition of under pressure?
I think it's a little bit of both, because under pressure is not a objective term of this has to be the case, right? I do think Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are under a lot of pressure. They have to figure out a way to finally beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game. So all of that, I think, comes in to that retrospect. But there are also players like Justin Fields, for example, who I have on my list, who are under pressure to stay in the National Football League. Everyone loves him as a runner. Everyone loves him as a person. But if he wants to be a starting quarterback in this league, he's got to figure out a way to win from the pocket. So he is under a tremendous amount of pressure. The contract-wise has him under a lot of pressure. And then you have some other players who are saying, listen, I'm just trying to save my career at this point and just fight for a roster spot. Those guys are like Malachi Corley, if you will, someone who was drafted relatively high third round, borderline second round pick, obviously, and quite frankly, has not produced to that level. We can argue about the reason why, but very clearly he has to prove he can be an NFL player. So under pressure means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I like to sort of put it all together, put it in a little bowl, and say, yes, everything about this means under pressure because the NFL, as is life, is a high pressure environment. And just because Patrick Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls doesn't mean he's not under pressure. He's got to figure out a way to sort of move off the stench that was the last Super Bowl. So I think everyone's under pressure. It's just a matter of to what degree we're talking about.
And I concur. I think the truth, like everything, is sort of in the middle. That give me the situation, then I can debate the pressure level. Like it's not. I don't just categorize only this pocket of pressure, this pocket. So it takes me to an interesting name, and it was whatever that meme is for that girl that goes now, now, and the name was Jamie and Sherwood. So I said on the list, I'm like, Jamie and Sherwood. He just got paid. Where's the bread? And then I went, well, CJ Mosley, and then I went, $45 million, and then I'm like, oh well, no one expected anything from him last year. He was just supposed to be the same guy he was, a backup linebacker who played some special teams. Then all of a sudden, he surprised the NFL. And they're like, who the hell is this guy? And now they know who he is. So it's like the encore performance. Okay, last year was awesome, but now how are you going to follow that up? So that one at first, I was sort of wrestling with my other personalities in my brain, which sort of happens on a day-to-day basis, and ultimately I sided with you on the Jamie and Sherwood thing. He is under pressure, even though I thought he was when I thought that he thinks that he thought.
Again, under pressure means a lot of different things. He's under a different amount of pressure than Justin Fields is or Malachi Corley is. His standing on the roster is there. But this is the first season where Jamie and Sherwood is coming to the team with clear expectations of what he needs to bring. He needs to be the next CJ Mosley. He needs to get people in the right spot on defense, and he needs to make a lot of plays. All of that together means that he's going to be under pressure. He's now also has to live up to a hefty contract that's paid him one of the highest paid linebackers in the game. So Jamie and Sherwood, listen, everyone knows I've loved what I've seen from the kid over the last few years. I thought he was very deserving of a starting role last year when I brought up potentially that CJ Mosley might be nearing the end of his career. Now it's about Sherwood proving that he belongs as the best linebacker or one of the best linebackers in the game. And I just think with him specifically, it's not just about making all the plays. It's about getting the players in the right position, because that was the one thing I think the Jets defense struggled with last season, and it was a reminder of Mosley's importance to the team as a leader. If Sherwood can take that next step, you're looking at a Pro Bowl, All-Pro kind of player. Like he can be that good, but that's the last part of his game that I think needs to improve.
Was Damian Sherwood overpaid this offseason?
No. And I am a firm believer that you pay for potential, not for previous production, which is why I'm a firm believer that Sauce Gardner deserves $30 million. And it's why Garrett Wilson deserves $30 million as well. It's just a matter of what it is. You are paying young players to be even better in the future years, so their contracts look like an underpay because everyone's going to be next in line and everything like that. So I don't think he was underpaid at all. I think it was a very fair deal. And now it's up to him to prove that he can be the kind of Pro Bowl, All-Pro caliber player that many expect of him.
I'll get back into your pressure list in a second, but you brought up Saucy and Garrett, who are obviously in the news with all the contract stuff. And the social media, because you got to love that part of your job as a beat reporter, Nick, studying Instagram stories and breaking down cryptic codes and what that could mean for things. A lot of people are saying Sauce was in a car and talking about things that must mean that the contract for sure is coming. And I saw a lot of people congratulating him. That was a few days ago. I've heard nothing on the Sauce. What's the latest on the Sauce thing? Can you crack the code?
There's really no major update, at least right now, that from what I've heard. And again, I think the other thing people need to understand, this deal is going to get done. It's going to get done because it has to get done. The question is when. I've been a firm supporter of the fact that you want to pay players ahead of others. So the fact that they missed out on paying Sauce Gardner ahead of Derek Stingley, I think that was a mistake. I think it's just a basic mistake. You could have gotten Sauce for maybe $27 million instead of $30 million before that 30 was given out. Now the barometer is 30. So I would assume somewhere around 31, maybe 30 and a half will probably go to Sauce. the way that I look at it, I don't think, and from what I've heard, this is not going to be a Revis situation where they just don't want to pay a number one cornerback. They are going to pay him. They're going to pay Garrett Wilson. It's going to happen. It is just a matter of when and at what point do these deals get agreed upon. I am a firm believer both are going to be done before the regular season starts. Maybe it happens before training camp over this next week. But I'm firmly set on the belief the fact that these players were in mandatory minicamp, the fact that they were there throughout off-season workouts, that was them negotiating in good faith. I think it's up to the Jets to negotiate in kind, and I do think a deal will be done.
Is it a foregone conclusion that Sauce Gardner will, in fact, become the highest-paid corner? The real question is, how much is he the highest-paid corner?
Yeah, it is a shock to me if they get him for under $30 million. It would be a stunning, absolute turn of events if Sauce Gardner is a $30 million cornerback. And again, mostly because this is how negotiations go. Derek Stingley had a great year last year. He was one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, and he got paid $30 million. Sauce Gardner did not have the best year last year, but he was an All-Pro in his first 2 years. He's played 3 seasons, been an All-Pro 2 out of 3 years. That's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn historical. So the way that I look at it, anything less than 30, and I'm going to Darren Muji, I'm saying, well done, sir. Because this is just a matter of guaranteed money. It's a matter of average annual salary, and to that point, very clearly, Sauce Gardner to me is going to get $30 million.
All right, what about Garrett Wilson? All right, you seem pretty clear on Saucy. How clear are you on Garrett?
It's more complex, yeah, with Garrett, because of the fact that you don't really know. No one really knows where to put him on a top 10, top 15 list.
It's true.
Some people have him in the top 10. Some people have him top 15. Some people have him top 20. You look at kind of contracts like to Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, where there is a $5 million or around $5 million difference between them and the number one receiver on their team. Obviously, Tyreek Hill and A.J. Brown. Does that mean he gets 30? Maybe. He could also push, the Jets could also push and say, listen, 27.5, 28 million, maybe somewhere along those lines. I think he'll get paid higher than Devontae Smith. I think he'll get paid higher than Jalen Waddle, but the question is by how much? He is a number one receiver. He is the number one receiver on this team, and it's a matter of paying him like a number one. Number one receivers now get paid over $30 million. That's probably where Garrett wants to be. And I would look at probably the A.J. Brown, the Tyreek Hill kind of contracts and say that's probably where he wants to end up. Question is that where the Jets believe it? Listen, Garrett has been great. He's been a historical receiver in Jets history through the first 3 years of his career. But the numbers also tell a story of a player that may be closer to Devontae or Waddle than a Tyreek Hill or an A.J. Brown, someone that's going to dominate no matter who they are going up against. He's won some great matchups against guys like Jalen Ramsey, but can he do it consistently with all the changes at quarterback? Terry McLaurin is another great example. He's looking for another contract himself. He potentially could be sitting out of training camp. If that number comes in for McLaurin over 30, I think it's a safe bet that Garrett's will also be at that point as well, because they're kind of in that similar trajectory of their careers, even though Garrett's obviously younger. So the way that I see it, it's far more complex. There are a lot of different players to compare it to, and that's what makes it difficult to predict. But again, I still think at the end of the day, he's probably going to get 30, and he'll probably be the number one receiver for New York for the next decade moving forward.
Is there a number the Jets could give Garrett Wilson that your reaction is, oh boy, oh, wow, that was much higher than I anticipated? If so, what is that number?
It's probably 30. Anything higher than 31. And that seems mean to say. You were splitting hairs at a couple million, but
Sure.
That's essentially where we're at. If he gets paid more than some of these other guys, the A.J. Browns of the world, the Amon-Ra St. Browns of the world, these players that are paid well over 30 million, that's where I will look and say, is Garrett better than these guys? I don't think so. And this isn't criticizing Wilson for the player he is. We haven't seen him with a competent quarterback. Put Jared Goff, put Jalen Hurts on the Jets, and I guarantee you his numbers are going to be a lot better than they have been. And he had a great year last year as well. So I think all of that comes into account. But anything higher to me than 31 is more of a, whoa, he really won this negotiation.
what is the concern level over the Mason Taylor situation? Because Trey Harris, the Chargers' second-round draft choice, their rookies reported earlier than the Jets, so they were the first. Everyone was watching them saying, "Oh, what's about to happen here?" And he did not report, and
Well,
it's
he can't
because this.
report.
He can't, right?
Yeah.
He can't report unless he's under contract. He can't participate either, which is obviously those two things go together. So he didn't report and can't report. It didn't show up. What should the concern level be for Jet fans? Because we're only a couple days away from when Mason Taylor and the rest of the rookies are supposed to be showing up. Does this all get figured out? 30 of 32 second-round picks feels like a very large number, and that feels like it could potentially drag on.
And it probably will drag on going into training camp. It's just a matter of fact. These guys want guaranteed money, and there's not as many protections for second round picks than there are for first rounders. And maybe that changes in the next CBA. Maybe they try and go down and break that down into guaranteed money as well for upcoming draft picks. All of that can be taken into account. Am I worried? Not really. He's going to play week 1 for the Jets. Maybe, and again, my prediction throughout this past offseason, ever since he was drafted to the Jets, was that it would take him some time at the beginning of the season to sort of get accustomed to the NFL speed, get accustomed to blocking and running and receiving at the NFL level, all of that included. And then he would catch fire later on in the year. This holdout, if you will, it's not really a holdout. They're trying to come to terms on the rookie contract. You have to include it and say, well, listen, this actually makes a lot more sense to that kind of prediction, because if he misses a week of training camp before he gets a deal signed, if he misses 2 weeks before a deal gets signed, it's going to take him time to get acclimated. So if that means Jeremy Ruckert, if that means Stone Smart get more snaps to begin the season, so be it. But I think by the end of the year, Mason Taylor will not just be the de facto starting tight end. He will be probably the second best receiving option that New York has.
Is it inevitable that Mason Taylor is going to miss training camp time? The question is just how much training camp time is he going to miss because of this contract situation?
They still have a week to go, and that's the important thing. Deadlines are there to sort of get everyone to the negotiating table. So I think there's still a chance that Mason Taylor signs before the deadline. But yes, there is still a chance that he misses training camp, because the big barometer to me is this is not just an isolated incident. There are 30 second-round picks. What is it, unsigned or signed?
30 of 32 are unsigned. The only 2 that are signed are Carson Schlesinger of the Cleveland Browns and Jaden Higgins of the Houston Texans.
So, I mean, there you go. There's a precedent here. No one is budging on their contracts. Philadelphia's Andrew Makuba, not signed. Everyone's worried about what's going to happen there in Philadelphia. So the way that I see it, a deal will get done. He'll be ready for the start of the year. Could he miss training camp time? Absolutely, because it seems like all 30 of these players are at the picket line going, screw you, we want our guaranteed money, and we'll wait to be able to get that. So all of that into account, the precedent is there for this to linger a little bit longer than expected. It could very well change if the Jets relinquish this and just get him the money that he's looking for. And again, I want to make it clear. It's not that Mason Taylor is holding out for more money. You can't. The second-round pick is established at a certain prorated salary. What they're arguing about is guaranteed money. And that's where, if you're a fan, it's very hard to criticize a player for, particularly in the National Football League. The Pittsburgh Steelers back in the 80s, the 83 draft, they chose this defensive tackle over Dan Marino. And to this day, a lot of people talk about it being the biggest mistake in franchise history. The Chief wanted Marino. Chuck Noll wanted the defensive tackle. Well, 8 weeks in, the defensive tackle got into a car accident and was paralyzed. His career ended in his rookie year, whether it was first or second year, whatever that was. That is a reminder of getting your guaranteed money as soon as you possibly can. Because this game, life in general, has a way of sneaking up on you. So to sit there and say that Mason Taylor needs to hold out, he should be in camp, all these other things, yes, he should be in camp. He should also be paid his worth. And if a first-round pick is getting guaranteed money, why can't a second-round pick get guaranteed money at a lower rate than he obviously is expected to get? So I think all of that into account, I don't blame Taylor at all for this. I think it's just a matter of the NFL is going to have to go back to the CBA and sort of rewrite some of these rules.
Again, we're speaking with Nick Faria, baby, our handsome guy here on the program, NFL reporting extraordinaire, Jets reporter, JetsXFactor.com, and the Riverdale Press, for God's sakes. So make sure you continue to send in your Super Chat questions. I see we got several, so it is time for none other than this quick video package to start our Super Chat questions that you have for Nick Faria. Buckle up, Nick. I hope you're ready.
Thank you for that. The Super Chat. You could get lucky here on the Boy Green Show. This show is daily. It's in the morning. Be sure to stay tuned. Let's go, Jets.
All right, this first Super Chat question is from Gator McCluskey, baby, for $5, and he has a lot to unpack here, Nick. First off, what fan base would want to swap out their current quarterback for Justin Fields? Superman was trash. Dark Knight set the bar. Good luck with the new gig. You're awesome. So there's a lot of things to unpack here. We'll go piece by piece. We'll start off on the first thing. What fan base would swap out their current quarterback for Justin Fields of the 32 teams in the National Football League? Nick Faria.
Oof. Trying to think.
Yeah.
Let's go by division. Let's go AFC
that's easy.
East. Would anyone in the AFC East want to swap their quarterbacks? Absolutely not. I'm sorry. The Dolphins are not swapping Tua for Justin Fields. That's just not happening.
Right.
Let's go AFC North. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati.
Cleveland might.
I think Cleveland would. We'll put Cleveland on that list.
Okay.
So that's number one. I'm going to write that down.
Okay, write that one down. Pittsburgh obviously would. They tried to get Justin Fields instead of Aaron Rodgers.
But they have Aaron Rodgers. And I think now they're saying, okay, yeah, we're okay with the Hall of Fame quarterback.
Right.
And again, he wasn't the Hall of Famer with the Jets.
Right.
Pittsburgh's kind of looking and saying, well, that's the Jets. We can make it work.
Okay.
In the
no
South,
Bengals or Ravens, obviously.
Yeah,
no.
that is it. Texans, Colts, Jags, and
Titans. So let's see.
Colts, maybe.
Oh,
And
Colts, yeah.
I
mean, that's a
I'll put the
disaster.
Colts
I
there.
put Colts on there.
All right, so the West, you have Chiefs, Raiders, Denver, Chargers. None of them are swapping with their guys. Maybe.
Probably not.
And again, even with the Raiders with Geno, Carroll loves Geno.
And that's what I was about to say. The Carroll Geno thing, probably not. So, okay, that's good too.
We move to the NFC, the North. Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings.
Maybe Vikings, because that's
McCarthy.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? They just drafted him, so I guess they feel good about him. He's coming off an injury. Yeah, would their fan base trade him? No. And that's the question, so no. Bears
NFC
wouldn't.
East.
Packers
Eagles,
wouldn't, no.
Commanders,
Well,
Cowboys.
Eagles would, obviously. Right, Nick? You could speak for
Maybe the Giants, but I wouldn't even put them on that list.
Because of
they
Jackson Dart?
Just drafted Jackson Dart. So
and obviously Cowboys Commanders wouldn't, so no.
Yeah. So it's Saints, Bucks,
Falcons,
Panthers. Saints. I would say the Saints maybe.
Yeah,
Without
Saints.
Derek Carr, so we'll put the Saints down.
Yeah, because they have Tyler Shuck, I guess.
And then
let's
the West. Cardinals, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks.
Real quick, do you think the Panthers would with Bryce Young?
No way, especially with how we looked last year. The fact that he played well down the stretch, they want to see what they've got in this guy. They used the number 1 overall pick on him.
Yes.
In the West,
so we got Brock Purdy. We got Kyler Murray. I don't know how they feel about Kyler Murray right now.
Yeah, but for Justin Fields?
Well, maybe not. Who does Seattle have? Darnold, obviously. So, no, they feel good about him, I'm sure. And who else am I missing? Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray. Oh, Matthew Stafford. Obviously not. So, no.
That would be great if the Rams could get him.
Yeah, sure.
They're haunting my dreams right now. But anyway, so that's 3 teams that we have on the docket. And again, let me preface. If Justin Fields has the kind of career-saving year that Sam Darnold had, that Geno Smith had, maybe he bumps up this list. And there is a path for him bumping up that list if he protects the football, if he's able to be meticulous and decisive in the passing game in the pocket. There's a path there. But as of right now, Is there any other team that you think would be like, yes, Justin Fields, that's our guy?
Probably not.
Objectively, no. Objectively,
But you just mentioned it in your caveat. Like, think about Sam Darnold last year. How many? Not many. And then now ask that same question. Well, okay, maybe we got some different answers now. Maybe we don't because of how things ended. So that'd be fascinating. The next point here feels more statement than question. Superman was trash! Exclamation point.
So, and I'm gonna preface this by actually
Oh,
having people think a little bit here.
All right.
It's not the Superman is trash line that gets me. Dark Knight set the bar. That tells me exactly what Gator's thoughts are.
Okay.
The Dark Knight series with Christopher Nolan is one of the greatest superhero
spectacular.
trilogies of all time. It's one of the greatest. No one's denying that. But why was it so great? Because Batman is a uniquely commented superhero. He is an angst superhero. There's not many others like that in the comics, both in Marvel or in DC. You really stop and think about it. There's no one really quite like Batman in general. So, what does DC do? They bring in Zack Snyder. They have Christopher Nolan help, and they say, let's make The Dark Knight, but for Superman. But it doesn't work because if you look at the cartoons, you look at everything about Superman, he's not Batman. He's never supposed to be Batman. He is the guy that is just naive to a fault, a very positive person, very trusting person. And Corin Sweat actually played that beautifully. So to me, what Gator is saying is, I love The Dark Knight, and every superhero movie should be like The Dark Knight because of how great it was. That is essentially the Snyderverse people what it's all about. They want to have Dark Knight for all of their superheroes, and it doesn't work because it's only The Dark Knight where that works. It's only Batman that can have that work.
And is it also just sort of an impossible bar that's never, ever going to be topped?
I think it could if done correctly.
Ooh,
but that comes down to understanding the superheroes. You cannot have a brooding Superman and everyone be okay with it. I mean, the de facto Superman for decades was Christopher Reeve. And he was the smiling, it was the aw shucks kind of thing. I think Corin Sweat did a great job with it. Very, very similar feeling to it. But to me, I looked at it and I said, he's more Superman than Henry Cavill because Cavill was just a physical guy. They wanted to make him into a god instead of making him into a person, and that's not the point of Superman. It's just not. It's the humanity side, the greatness of humanity, all instilled into this one person. To me, this tells me that Gator, and listen, I love Gator. He's fantastic. He's helped me out a lot as well. He's helped a lot of people out. He is a Snyder guy and therefore wants these heroes to be brooding and depressed and visibly frustrated and all these other things. And that's just not what someone is about.
All right. And good luck with the new gig. You're awesome, which is great. Thank you for the kind words, sir, Gator. Yeah, Gator's the man. We got another one coming in here from EZ, baby. We love to see it.
Wow.
EZ with a $5 super chat, aka Edward Ziff. Like I said, and he's talking about Garrett Wilson here. Give Garrett Wilson $28.5 million per year with incentives that could get him up to $32 million. Let him earn his money with incentives with a big guaranteed base salary. Your thoughts, Nick, on that structure?
I don't think it's going to be enough for Garrett, and I think that'll probably listen. This is a very fair deal, and I think probably this is kind of where the Jets are at right now, where it's like you can earn some of that last money to be paid among the top players of the position. I also don't think it's feasible because Garrett's going to want to push for that 30 spot. I think he will probably eventually get it in due time if he's a little bit more patient. And, you know, it's one of the more complex contracts you are going to hear about because with McLaurin, he's a guy that has produced for a long time now, and he just had his career year with a competent quarterback. Does that competent quarterback continue with Garrett Wilson? If the Jets are able to get a competent quarterback, are those numbers going to stay? That's a big question.
That certainly is. And again, Easy, I like this. You've been championing this sort of structure for a while. Again, if I'm Garrett, again, I just feel like I'm not swimming at 28.5. I'm sure that's what the Jets want, but for me, if I'm Garrett, I'm fighting for a higher base than 28.5. And then if we want to talk about incentives on top of that, woohoo, great. I can prove that I'm even better than what I am, but I'm at least getting this. Insert line in the sand, whatever it is. So I think the floor again. This is a cool structure. If I'm playing Madden, okay, it sounds pretty good. But Garrett has to, it takes two to tango. It's not just, hey, here's the contract. Yes, yes, sir, I take the contract. Like there is a negotiation that takes place here. So I think the base is going to be higher for Garrett. But again, maybe we're going to see here shortly about ultimately what happens here with what ultimately he ends up getting. We have another comment here from OG Jets fan 1985.
Wow.
Thank you for being a member for 6 months. BG Nick, the Eagles 8 to 10 win season division champ. Unless he's calling you the Eagle. And then
I don't think. Oh, are you saying the Jets or the?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest. I'm sort of confused. I don't know if he's calling you the Eagle, as in like our leader of Bird, and then he's saying the Jets 8 to 10 win season is division champs, or the Eagles win the division with 8 to 10 wins. OG, if you can clarify that in the comments.
Well, I'll also answer this question. No, 8 to 10 wins is not going to be good enough to win the division either in the AFC East or in the NFC East. You got Buffalo, you got Washington, you got Dallas. You're going to have to get to 12 wins to win these divisions, period. So the way that I see it, I think 8 to 10 wins is a ceiling for the Jets. I think they're going to hover around the 7, 8, 9 mark. I think they're going to be fighting around 500 for most of the year. And maybe they get to 8 wins. Maybe they get to 9 wins. Maybe they finish kind of similar to Bill Parcells, where they missed the playoffs at 9 and 8, where they got over 500. They're building something, something like that. So I could see that absolutely happening, but it comes down to Justin Fields. Can he be the quarterback for a full 17-game season where he is consistently winning from the pocket? That's a big question mark to ask.
Yeah, OG clarified he was talking about the Jets here. Yeah, just 8 to 10 wins in this division where you have a superpower, which is the Buffalo Bills, who arguably got better from last year to this year. Okay, the Dolphins, we could say, okay, like that could be a total shit show, fine. New England improved. How much they improved is where I get in debates with Patriot fans about it, but like still 8 to 10 wins just feels too low on the scale. I don't see this as that 2002 year, the last time the Jets won the division, where they were just able to get over the hump, that was enough. And maybe that was enough 23 years ago. I don't think in this, and that can happen. We've seen 8 to 10 win divisions in the last couple of years, but specifically with the construct of the AFC East, it just doesn't feel like the division winner is going to be there. Buffalo had the biggest gap of any division winner last year, and they got better. So other people are going to have to step up to the plate from that perspective. All right, Nick, are you ready to go to the phone lines?
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll play a quick hep timeout. Your phone call's next here on Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Let's go.
The OG Jet fan is saying Nick was the Eagle. He's the Eagle. The Jets and the Eagles. Okay. Understood, OG Jets fan. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yes, there you go. A beautiful nickname. Tommy can explain it more. He just called into the show. What's up, Tommy?
BG, Nick, what's going on, guys?
The Eagle. BG and the Eagle, baby. What's going on? And Tommy.
Well, yeah, what I was saying was, Nick the Eagle, even though, look, I got no hatred towards the Eagles because I hate the Giants and I hate the Cowboys a lot more than I hate the Eagles. So.
There you go. Power.
And I got family that live in Philly, so I've been to a couple Eagle games, but I still rock my Jets gear, and that was pretty dangerous because Eagle fans are pretty messed up. But
some of us, not all of us.
Not all. I don't want to keep saying the same thing like every time I call. I want Garrett, I want Sauce, I want them both signed before the season, not before training camp. I want them signed before the season. But what I was trying to really get at was, say we win 8, 9 games minimum, say we get to 10 or more. No matter how many wins we actually get, I don't think that matters when it actually comes down to us winning our division games and winning, if not all, most of our conference games. And as long as we get into that playoffs, let us win 8, let us win 9, let us win 10, let us win 11. I just want to get into that playoffs. I want to knock Miami off twice. I want to knock New England off twice. And I would love to knock Buffalo off twice. I don't see how that's possible, kind of, as of right now. But if we could split with Buffalo and have a pretty good shot with on our at our conference, and if we're going to lose some games, lose it to the NFC teams. Um, just get into the division, man. Like, and anything can happen.
Tom,
And
let me ask you this question. Because I think part of this is about expectations. If they went 9-8 or 8-9, but they played competitively, and it was right down to that final game of the year to go over 500, do you count that as a positive step for the team?
if say that again, if they get over 8 or 9 wins,
If they get to 8-9 wins, they don't make the playoffs though. Are you taking that as a successful year? Jesus.
I would take it as a successful year, depending on how our coaching played all year, how Justin Field grew throughout the year, how Brees Hall made another step, how Sauce Gardner maybe had a couple picks. In that sense, like, it's all about context. And yes, I would think it's positive. But if Justin Fields completely falls off, we're making dumb coaching mistakes. We're not playing hard nosed football like Aaron Glenn's preaching. Like, if Aaron Glenn is having all these teams ball out and they're giving everything they got and there's not a lot of penalties and they're close in every game, then yes, I would take it as a success.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
beautiful.
the other thing was, yeah, well, I can't. I really trust in the coaching. Hopefully, we have a kicker that can make a few field goals, not like last year. You know what I'm
Blessed be
saying? 'Cause
he.
that was absolutely horrible.
Yes.
And
God awful.
and just to end it with this, like,
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait till week 1. Like, bring Aaron Rodgers' old ass into our stadium. Like, bring his old ass into our stadium. Bring Justin Fields, who's going to be just as fired up coming from his old team. And let's blitz the living shit out of Aaron Rodgers, have
Yeah.
him scrambling all in the backfield, not knowing what to do, and really just kick his fucking ass in. Like, I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan, but not week 1. Like, I can't wait to have all these terrible towels just miserable and go to fuck back to Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
die hard Jets. I have full trust that we can win week 1, especially since Aaron Rodgers is just coming in.
Yeah.
Usually, it will take Aaron Rodgers a few weeks.
Yeah.
And I have full confidence in this team just because of the coaching. And I know they'll be disciplined and they'll be coached. And you think you think Sauce Gardner hasn't had any interceptions yet. Wait till he plays under Aaron Rodgers and he teaches him. Like, I guarantee you, Sauce Gardner is going to have 3 or 4, at least 4 or 5 picks this year. It's going to be people.
Hey,
People are going to be shocked. He's going to be the best cornerback in the NFL. That's why I want him signed now,
for sure.
because he's going to ball out this year. I know he is. God forbid any injury, he's going to ball out. And, like,
Love it.
why wouldn't you sign him and Garrett right now
Boom,
when they
boom.
are top 5? Garrett's at least top 8 wide receiver. Sauce,
All
I
right.
believe, is number 1.
All right. I like it.
And,
Tom,
with the coaching,
yeah.
and with the coaching, I just believe that this team is the sky is the limit. If they can coach up Justin Fields, get him to throw the ball out of the pocket a little bit faster, get his reads a little bit faster, don't hold on to the ball so long. I don't see any reason why this team can't win a division and be in tight with Buffalo. Like, I'm
Let's
not
go,
scared of
Tommy.
Buffalo at all.
Let's go. Fuck Buffalo. That's it.
Fuck
Yeah.
Buffalo, fuck Miami, and fuck New England.
Yeah.
Jets, 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 baby. Let's go.
There he is, Tommy. Yeah. Fuck everybody. Fuck the world. Love it. That's the kind of vibes and energy we need here on a Monday, Tommy. And thank you. Coming from BG and the Eagle. All right. This is going to get hot. between Nick Faria and this next guest. Gator has joined the octagon. Here we go.
Hey, buddy.
This is my old friend.
How you doing?
How are you?
It's great to see you, man. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. As do you. Love your new digs. Good luck with the new job, man. Really, I'm
Appreciate
excited
it.
for you. You too, Boy Green. You have
Oh,
a new venture in progress. I
thank
wish
you.
you all the
I
best,
appreciate
man. I hope for all the success in the world so that you can keep doing what we all want you to be doing.
Well, thanks for all
Um,
your help on that regard, thankfully. But now I know you need to. Thank you for the pleasantries. But now it's
Sweet.
time to get to the business. What do you got to say about this Nick Faria best?
Well, first on Fields, um,
Oh,
because I was very interested in hearing your. It sounds like you came down to three fan bases, perhaps that would prefer Fields over.
You break it down, yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to put that into perspective in terms of like tempering our expectations on Fields, because I know it's very common for Jets fans to sort of love the new, shiny whatever in the garage or in the driveway, the new shiny car. But then you start it and pull it out onto the street and realize it's not necessarily what you would hoped, and that happens to us far too often. So I'm a pessimist by nature when it comes to the Jets. So hearing from someone who has a lot of faith in Fields that he wouldn't even rank, in the top 27 quarterbacks in the league as far as, hey, I wish I was you guys and had this guy starting as our quarterback. Kind of should send a clear message, and I would run that test through a lot of folks that seem to love Fields and see, because the fan base is what we are, right? So if we think the other fan, and quite honestly, I think most of the other teams look at us on their schedule and they do the whole like we do the win-loss thing, and they look at us
Dub,
on there and they're like
win.
check win, check win. And I just think that's going to be the overall theme for us until we prove that we can figure it out otherwise, right?
100%.
Yes,
And listen,
concur.
I'm not sitting here saying that Justin Fields is going to be bad. I'm not saying he's going to be great. We have no idea what this offense is going to look like until the pads come on. And that's when we're going to be able to make an informed decision on if Justin Fields looks different from the guy he was in Chicago and Pittsburgh and the guy that he is now. The offense is a lot different. The scheme is going to be a lot different. We have no idea. And it's going to come down to him protecting the football and winning from the pocket. He's improved his completion percentage in every single year he's been in the league. That does not mean that he has suddenly become this great passer. He has a lot to prove this year going forward.
100%. 100%. Now, getting down to serious things, um, I'm not a Snyder fan, by the way.
Okay.
When I talk about the Dark Knight setting the bar, I'm not talking about tone. I'm not talking about, it's very specific to the Batman character. So I
Mm-hmm.
think what Christopher Nolan did was he brought the best out of the Batman character and put him in
Sure.
the world that he thought would work best, and surrounded him with incredible talent. I do think the new Superman movie does have some incredible talent. I love the new Superman. I thought Lois Lane was incredibly
They work
like
really well
she
together.
she might have been better than Margot Kidder. I mean, she was absolutely great. I like the dog. It is what it is. Everybody loves a dog. How can you not love a dog? But I just found the movie overall to just be the plot. Let me ask you a question. Did you shake your head at all when, and this isn't really a huge spoiler, did you shake your head at all when Lois Lane just figured out how to fly a spaceship within a few minutes?
The only reason why I didn't was because I was thinking about the previous scene where I'm like, wow, that was so Guardians. Like you saw those little bits and pieces of Guardians in there where I'm like, oh, that one's that. That one's that.
Well, that
Richard
was
Widmark.
that was what I was most afraid of when I was going into this movie, was it being like Guardians 4.
But it wasn't.
And
But it wasn't set like there were some moments like that. But it wasn't like here is man, here is alien, here is really angry dude, and we're gonna put them all together and make a team of five. It's not how it happened. That's why I liked it.
so Iron Man to me is a colorful sort of like movie that
Sure.
Superman could have been more like, okay, in terms of like, how he became Iron Man and the grittiness of the war and him in the cave and how he built the suit. And then his incredible sense of humor. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. portrayed a superhero probably better than anybody in the history of
Oh,
film. To
terrific.
me, he's irreplaceable. You could never do another Iron Man movie and not have,
Sure,
you know,
100%. Maybe Hugh
Robert
Jackman, but
Downey.
I would agree.
So to me, it's like there are dark, great superhero movies, and there are light, colorful, fun superhero movies. And I think the Avengers and Endgame was spectacular in
Absolutely.
what they achieved in that. So if you look at DC, to me, they've only done it recently. They've only done it with the Dark Knight. I think the Penguin series is incredible. I know, again, another dark one. But on the lighter side, I think Peacemaker is one of the most underrated series ever. If anyone hasn't
Oh,
seen
that's awesome.
Peacemaker, it is
Oh, terrific.
just absolutely hilarious. It's basically DC's Deadpool.
Well,
So if you love
you like the
That's a
Deadpool,
good way to
cameo
put
then.
it.
yeah. So they're capable of making good stuff, but I think that they've honestly fumbled the ball on every opportunity they've had, including the Snyderverse, which I think is completely overrated. There are some good films. Man of Steel was decent. I didn't think any of the Batman stuff with Ben Affleck was very good.
Ugh,
So
God,
again,
it's
this new
awful.
Superman movie, I'm very conflicted on it. I think it's very easy to go into it, and I'll tell you, be entertained. Go see it. You'll have a good time. But as a cinephile like myself, I do reviews on my channel and shit, but it's not really what I'm passionate about now. But I did not like the overall film in terms of, how manic and all over the place it was. Lex Luthor couldn't hold Gene Hackman's freaking jock strap.
You didn't like the guy, huh?
Not at all. Not at
Wow.
all. And I like the actor. He's done some great work, but
Oh,
I
he's
didn't think he was a
interesting.
good Lex Luthor at all. I mean, when he's walking and there's like blades spinning by him and he's not even blinking an eye. I mean, so much of that was, I get it. The comic book fans are like, oh, it's just like the comic strip. It's like, well, I didn't go to the movies to see a freaking comic book. Well, that's when you're a kid and you're flipping through pages. Fine.
But I think that's the difference. In these kind of superhero movies, in superhero movies in general, they're based off of a comic.
I get that, but Iron Man was too, and I didn't get that feeling. It didn't have to be such a stupid, comic book cartoon. It was real. I felt
Sure,
for Iron
sure.
Man, and I love that story. I keep bringing that one up. There's others that are good,
Different
but
character altogether. Like
yeah, yeah, sure.
there are human elements to Iron Man, just in Tony Stark in general, that plays well on screen. The womanizing, the alcoholism, all those other things. It plays a role in cinema that works really, really well, where those central themes of redemption work. When you have an all powerful superhero like Superman, you have to portray it a lot differently. That's why I
And
look
that
at
was
it.
one of my other big problems with it. He wasn't all powerful, right? They had to throw in all of these other superheroes. That's what they make the mistake with these movies. If you take, and I apologize, Boy Green, for hijacking
No,
your
this
show
is
and making it,
awesome.
but
Please.
if you go back to the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton, you
Mhm.
had a you had a good guy and a bad guy, right? It was a very simple story to follow, and it was fantastic. Okay. Second Batman, Joker was too big of an entity. They had to have couldn't have a Penguin only movie, which I think they could have, but they brought in a Catwoman, right? And then the movies followed. They started adding villains, and then what you started to see in the Marvel universe is you started to see these movies. They're just the characters, the superheroes weren't big enough. The superheroes weren't big enough. The villains weren't big enough. So we'll just add more of them.
Mhm.
So Superman, to me, if you go back to the Christopher Reeve version, you had Superman, you had Lex Luthor, and that was enough for 2 hours and 20 minutes. That was enough. But it doesn't seem to be enough in a modern age. They have to just jam these things with so many characters. You have, the Justice Gang and all these different Green
That's the
Lantern.
problem
So
now. That's yeah.
jam it, jam it, jam it with stuff, and you don't get to know anybody. You don't get to develop any of these characters. I would have loved to learn more about, Superman and learn more about Lex Luthor's motivations. You walk into this movie, Lex Luthor is already established. Everything is already figured out on this guy. They give you very little information about what his actual goal is and why he's doing it, other than he hates Superman. It's just not enough to me.
But
They
Gator,
don't
that's the
develop
thing.
anything.
So that's the thing, Gator. And I will say this, and I will say this poignantly. How many origin stories have we heard from these guys over the years?
I don't need another Superman origin story. That was refreshing that the film opens up again,
This
not
is
spoiling
you are
anything. The
in
film
this
opens
universe.
up. You already have Superman fighting.
Mhm.
Okay, he's already established, and that's fine. I didn't have a problem with that. I don't need another origin story. Just like with Spider-Man, I don't need
Yeah.
to see him get bit by a spider again. But you got to tell us about these people. You got to tell us more about Jimmy Olsen. Why is Jimmy Olsen this hot guy that all the girls want? I mean, he's just a fugly dude that's short and sits in an office. Like nothing is established, nothing is presented. You don't know any of these people. This is the worst character development in a film that I've seen. Of course, it's a comic book. You don't have to develop characters. Yeah, you do. You kind of do. You need to give a shit about the people that are in peril. You need to care about that. Justice Gang was just an absolute throw in of I didn't get it.
You
I
had
mean,
Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl's one of the original ones, but they throw in these guys because, and I would venture a guess as to why, because you want a universe build. You want to build over to the next and the next and the next and the next. You're not going to use the end if you're not going to use the end credit scene for it, like they did with Iron Man. Then you got to use the universe building inside. So, like with Endgame, Endgame had 15 spinoffs, I would say, in their movie. You have the Loki series.
prior though,
No,
prior.
no, just from the movie in general, the movie of Endgame in general. You had the Loki series. You tease the
Yeah.
Loki series. You had Wanda sort of slipping on the edge there, so you teased WandaVision. What was the other stuff? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. The Guardians movie. You had a new Thor movie. You had teased all these different pieces in one central movie. That is the essence of, unfortunately, what this genre's become.
Right, but look how they started it. They started with Iron Man.
Hmm.
Then they did Captain America. They did a Thor movie. They
Sure.
started to slowly build movies.
Build
They did a few
on.
Hulk movies. So they built up to something that was big. This movie says in a 2 hour period, which is way too short to do all this. They said in this 2 hour period, we're going to establish that Superman's already done all this great stuff and he's in the midst of battle. And then we're going to throw in all these characters because we want to use them in other series and movies. Great. So we don't even have time to explain to who they were. Don't worry about it. They have all these powers and they're capable of all these things. I mean, his engineer, right, who can basically kill Superman, do all this stuff
R.I.P.
crazy. You can see it in the trailer. They didn't tell you anything about her. It was like just a line of like, oh yeah, she's a molecular whatever, whatever, whatever. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to accept that, but I have no idea who this person is and how she's capable of all that. Did
Because
I
the
need to read
DC
50 comic books to find that out? I don't want to do that. I just want to go to a movie. Again, we got to get back to the bad guy, the good guy, mano a mano, face off,
but
Batman
that's
versus Joker, right?
Jada, but I think
Batman,
the
Superman
problem,
versus Lex Luthor.
I think the problem there, so you kind of mentioned it. Marvel itself didn't have the rights to Spider-Man, didn't have the rights to Fantastic Four, didn't have rights to
Yeah,
X-Men by the time they started.
yeah.
So you had to essentially bargain bin shop with the people they had. Iron Man, you think of the greatest superheroes of all time, even before 2008. Iron Man was not on that list. It was Superman, Batman, Spider-Man,
Right.
Wolverine, and Wonder Woman. However, which order you want the last two, so be it. But those five are the top group.
Yeah.
When you have that, and when you have all this bargaining bin shopping, you're allowed to go into the, okay, this is who this character is. You're able to establish them with origin stories. When you have the most popular pieces and most popular superheroes, everyone's heard of them. Everyone knows their story. So you have to find a different way to invigorate that audience to come over. Listen,
Wait, do you not think that they couldn't have made a great Superman movie with just Superman and Lex Luthor? That they really need the Justice Gang? Did they really need all of these high-tech special effects built in a lab
I think they did here.
villains?
I think
Did
they
they
did
need
here.
another freaking multiverse? If I see another freaking multiverse in a movie, I swear to God, I'm going to go up into the digital film projector room and strangle the guy that's operating it.
You
I
better be ready
cannot
for Doomsday.
stand
I'll just tell
freaking
you that.
multiverses. I mean, Ant-Man did really well. I mean, come on, how many multiverses are we going to have here? The Flash was in a multiverse, this one, that. The multiverse is so stupid, confusing, and ridiculous. It takes me out of any possibility of caring about these people because I have no idea what's happening half the time.
I hope you're ready for Doomsday. I'll just put it that way because that one's going to be a multiversal mess.
Then they're just never going to get it right. Not anymore. Not until you get some real you know movie traditionalists that come back and start making films, and that's something that I'm hoping with the James Bond series, that with DeVille, the guy from Dune, is now directing the latest Bond movie. They're already talking about Sydney Sweeney as the Bond girl. Come on,
I
baby,
heard
let's
that.
go. We got to get back to what Bond is all about, right? Smoking, debating, big boobs, and and Spectre and holding a cat. Let's go.
Blessed be he. Gator, thanks for the passionate call today, my friend.
Steers.
Great stuff.
There he is. Gator McCluskey, the legend. Unbelievable. Wow. Well, Nick, we're over. You got some Riverdale press attention to get to. I didn't think that's where that was. Well, I knew that was where it was sort of going to go, but wow, that got intense with you guys. I love it. That was a fun little chapter there. Boy Green Daily. All right. Well, Nick, until next week, you never know what we could be talking about.
Appreciate it, Paul. Thank you.
There he is, Nick Faria, our NFL reporter, Jets reporter, JetsXFactor.com, and Superman. Man. All right, there you go. Wow, fascinating. All right, let's go back to the phone. Let's got 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. That was a fun little detour here, a couple days out from training camp. Let's go back. He continues to make appearances, and I love having this guy on the show. There was a fun chat with Bob Lederer. Man with the Jets tattoo is back, baby. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Boy Green?
Excellent, man.
Hey,
What's going on?
listen, I have to say this. Nick Faria is right when he said it. We don't know. We can speculate, we can wish, we can wonder, we can do anything we want, but we don't know. But getting back to the superhero talk that we had,
Oh, sure, yeah.
I don't know too much about superheroes, but this is what I do know.
Okay.
The best Superman, and Bob Letter would know this. Best Superman was George Reeves.
Mm,
Second best Superman was Christopher Reeves.
mm.
Best Batman was Michael Keaton. Best Wonder Woman was Linda Carter, and the best Hulk was Lou Ferrigno.
Ah, Lou. I love Lou.
That goes to show you how old I am.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the OGs. I respect that.
Oh yeah, and I actually still watch the old Supermans with George Reeves every
Yeah?
Saturday
Oh, that's
morning.
awesome.
Oh
I love
yeah,
that.
they're it takes you back to the beginning.
Hmm.
It takes you back to the beginning. This is how it all started, and all these comic book guys and these comic book people. If you go back and you read the old comics, even going back to Dick Tracy and
Hmm.
all of those, you can see how it all started. And then when we get into I haven't seen a Superman movie since, I don't know, maybe Christopher Reeves.
Wow.
So
It's been a hot second.
I'm not really into the comic book movies anymore.
Hmm.
But I still like the old style guys. But anyway, all I wanted to say was that Nick was correct when my feelings are exactly what Nick said. We just don't know, and I guess pretty soon we're going to find out.
That's for sure. You
You
know,
know,
it'll
and
be
we're going.
it'll be interesting. Yeah, because week one you play Pittsburgh. They had Justin Fields in their building. What do they know that that they are probably getting? Oh, we know exactly what Justin Fields they believe they're getting, and what surprises come. I'm really tantalized. We don't know, but I'm curious to find
No,
out. You know?
and I think we're thinking the same thing about our Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And one thing I do have to say about Aaron Rodgers is that
Hmm.
he's another year removed from that injury.
Sure, that's beneficial.
Does he have one good year left in him? I don't know.
Is it going to
So
be Brett Favre 2008, 2009? 2008,
that
8-3 start. We're all fired up. Look at Brett bleeping Favre. He had a 6-touchdown game against the Arizona Cardinals. He tears a tendon in his bicep, doesn't tell anybody. Season tanks, and we lose out. And Brett Favre's like, "All right, I'm fake retired again." We're like, "All right, see you later." And he goes to the Vikings and has a 33 touchdown, 7 interception season. Takes him one shitty throw he shouldn't have made across the field. It's quarterback 101, but sort of a microcosm of Brett Favre's career, getting away with all kinds of crazy shit, where he takes a team to an NFC championship game and nearly a Super Bowl. does Aaron Rodgers have that second act of Brett Favre season in him, where the Jets are like, shit, where was that last year? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think Brett Favre. I just think Brett Favre had more at the end than Aaron Rodgers does.
All right.
Even coming off the injury, I think he was a tougher guy. He was a tougher player. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has it in him to make it through this, and to give you one of those Brett Favre seasons anyway. I
Yeah.
just don't think he does.
All right.
And again, I'll say it again. I don't know. You don't know. No one knows.
Right.
So all I can say is we're about what? We're about a week away now.
Yeah, so we're
And
5 days away from the rookies reporting. What would that be? 8 days away from the veterans reporting, and then practice starts basically the next day. So yeah, we're basically a week away.
so what do we have? The rookies reporting on the 19th.
Yep, that's on Saturday, and then veterans. What is that? 2021, 22, like Tuesday, I believe, is when the veterans show up, and then the first practice is like that Wednesday or Thursday. So yeah.
Okay, well, Friday the 18th is my birthday.
Hey.
So the best birthday present I can have is to get some real relevant Jet news on the 19th, 20th, 22nd.
That'd be nice. That'd be
And
nice. Well, happy
we'll
early
be able
birthday, pal.
thanks. And we'll be able to talk about some real Jet performance by players, and
Mm-hmm.
even though it's preseason, even though it's
Of course.
practice, we'll have a better idea than just speculating.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for my time, and I'll give you a call back soon.
Looking forward to it. Man with the Jets tattoo continues his epic saga here on Boy Green Daily. Terrific. I'll tell you this real quick on Batman stuff. I'll tell you, my fiance is the biggest superhero movie aficionado I know in my life. I watch all the stuff, like I watch Deadpool and all these superhero movies. Once we start diving into multiverses and this comic, that comic, you guys sort of lose me. But I am a superhero movie fan. I will say I really enjoyed Christian Bale as Batman. I thought he was awesome. I thought Ben Affleck was straight up booty cheeks. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life is Batman versus Superman. That was one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen, and I wish I could get my time back in my life that I spent in that bleeping movie theater. I have never in a movie where something happened and I wanted to get up and go, wait, what the fuck? There was not a moment in history that I've ever wanted to do that more than in the Batman superhero movie, Batman vs. Superman, where they're beating the shit out of each other. Spoiler alert, a couple years later. And then they both realize that, like, their mother's first name is the same or something. And they're like, oh my God, we're friends. And I'm like, what? Oh my God. Absolute trash. That movie sucks. So that one's pretty bad. And then Robert Pattinson as Batman. I'm not really sure how to feel about that one. But Ben Affleck sucks. Just trash. Absolute garbage. Anywho, back to the phone lines here. Ricky New York Live. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, how's it going, Paul?
Hey, what's going on?
The man with the Jets tattoo.
Yes.
Thank you, because you gave me a new catchphrase, and hell, maybe a T-shirt too.
Nice.
If you don't know, you're about to find out.
I like that.
And I keep hearing people say that. Well, we just don't know. We just don't know. Have you not been paying attention? Have you not been listening?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Robert Saleh was supposed to be a football guy. He's
Yes.
a student of the game.
Mm.
Guess what, Jack? Our coach now, he wasn't a student of the game. He friggin' played it. Okay?
Yeah.
There's one thing to have book knowledge. There's another to have practical knowledge. Been there, done that, know how to do it, know all the nuances of it. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we have former players teaching these guys now, it is going to be different. And I don't see any reason that we can't make some real noise in this division. And I'll tell you right now, I know the only Super Bowl we won was literally a lifetime ago.
Yes.
However, I would rather only go to one and win that one than go to three and lose them all. All right.
1,000%. And so many people I get to arguments about this with, I make the joke that, like, hey, the Jets have ever lost a Super Bowl. And they're like, well, you've only been to one. And I'm like, well, we're batting 1,000. We're 1 for 1, baby. I'd much rather be that than the Vikings, who have been to 4 times and lost. The Bills have been 4 times and lost. And all these other teams that have been to a ton and lost a bunch. Like, I don't want to get to the freaking Super Bowl and lose. I'd rather wait. Wait for my opportunity when the Jets get back and then they win it again. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, and it everything that's going on right now is just so much different than like the previous regime, the previous couple. And I don't see how, I get why some people are skeptical, but like, realize the situation that we're in and what's going on. The culture change, like it needs to be universal. It doesn't need to be just the front office and the players and the coaches. It needs to be us too. Like we need to, stop being all gloom and doom and like, trying to speculate on what's the thing that can go wrong and, embrace this change that we've got going on right now, because you know what? I'm not going into this year scared of anyone. I'm not scared of anyone. I know that we finally got competent coaches. I think we're going to finally see what all of our players are capable of, because I think AG is the guy that's going to get it out of them. So I'm not going into the year negative. I'm not going into the year scared. I'm not pessimistic. I'm, to me, Buffalo is a paper champion. I mean, we beat them with friggin' Zach Wilson, for goodness sake.
True.
The worst quarterback in the last 50 years. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this year, man. I think we're going to get back to real Jets football, and as far as the superhero thing, I'm going to make it real simple for you. Okay, right. Spider-Man is the best superhero, hands down, because he's like an everyday guy with everyday problems, but the whole moral of the story, with great power comes great responsibility. They're teaching you values. They're teaching you a work ethic. So there's that. And Spider-Man is a friggin' New York Jets fan.
That's true.
So that alone puts him a whole tier above everybody else, because Spider-Man from Queens is a Jets fan. I mean, it was like one of the very first issues of Spider-Man where he like goes to Felicia Hardy's house, and like when he walks in, he's like, "Wow, the whole New York Jets team could practice in your lobby. This place is so big." And like literally in the comments, in the comics, he's talking about the Jets. So yeah, man, Spider-Man by far the best.
And great reason for it too. And we have to hit one of these.
That's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
You're damn right we are. So, dude, like, I mean, instead of the platitudes and the excuses and the inspirational sayings, we got somebody up there telling it like it is. Like, we always say we wish things would be different. Well, dude, like now things are different. And like I said, we're going to go back to good Jets football, that late 90s, early 2000s. We're going to kick your ass Jets football. And, man, I can't wait. And, if you're one of those people who hadn't been paying attention or you're not sure, well, if you don't know, you're about to find out.
Damn straight. Ricky, thanks for the call, brother. Great stuff. What a bleeping show. 400 people live in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe here on YouTube. You should do that because that's the free way to contribute to the show. But also, one last shout out to this. We're giving away a pair of Jets Cowboys tickets to the Week 5 game, Sunday, October 5th, Section 228A. 2 tailgate tickets to our tailgate, which comes with food catered by Chef Kevin Gilbert and drink before the game, and 2 Jets Cowboys commemorative t-shirts. All that and more, baby, is being given away. That's $600 in value. Here's how you enter this contest. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is at BoyGreen25. Again, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, most of the people on YouTube are already subscribed. But the people on Facebook and Twitter, if you're not, open up a new tab right now on your phone or go over to your computer, type in www.youtube.com/BoyGreen25. Hit subscribe. It's free to do. And then send in a $20 raffle ticket. You can do that on PayPal or Venmo at BoyGreen25, or you can just spend $20 on the YouTube channel. That is memberships, that is super stickers, that is super chats, or anything of that nature. Feel free to send it in. You'll have a chance to win this. There are several people who are close, so keep an eye out for that throughout the month of July. There are several of you that have spent just short of $20, so make sure that you guys do that before the end of July so you have an opportunity to enter this contest. One person will win, and they can do what they want with it. Some people will be winning and giving those tickets away if they win. We'll see what happens. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily. And if you want to catch more live Boy Green, I'll be live at 1 o'clock today for the Man Shout Show with Boy Green Digital. It'll be live right here on that channel. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in a bit.